Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Annalisa and this is Homemade Sunshine. So in this week's video, we're going to do more of a homemaking video this week with my ironing board, which you're going to think it's ironing, but it's not. This is what we're using for our flat surface for this project. So I got a while back on Amazon a Conair fabric shaver. I looked online and this seemed to be something that people were recommending. And the reason, I mean, I'm not just trying to like tell you to go buy a whole bunch of stuff. That's never my intention. But as somebody who thrifts, buys a lot of clothes secondhand, or even if you're somebody who buys most of their clothing new, a lot of the times you'll run across things at the thrift store that you really like, or even in your own closet that maybe you really love. This pair of leggings, for example, or a sweater, or a sweatshirt. Maybe it's a nice hand-me-down from a family member that's passed on, and you really like to revitalize it, save it, but it's covered in pills. Our sweater shaver comes in, and I've tried these in the past and I did not care for them because you have to be so careful, as in these little tiny sharp blades here. So of course keep this out of reach of your children because this is very, very sharp and not something that you would want them to be able to get a hold of. So very simple for how this works. You've got some settings up here, just an on-off switch here. You can hear how that sounds. And you can adjust it to whatever setting you prefer. This is the adjustable head for if it's a small, medium, or large as to how much you want exposed. This just adjusts the field, I guess. Which doesn't really make any sense to me, but you know. So it even says on here, I have to squat to be able to read this, that the fabric shaver might damage structured textiles or very soft materials such as Angora wool. So always test on a not super visible surface of the item. So let me show you a few of the things that I have to try today. So first is this red cardigan right here, and it's starting to get kind of pilly beneath the arms. Not terrible, but you can see that there. So it is starting to look like that under both of the arms, but the rest of it is still, I mean, this is still a very nice cardigan for basically all year until it gets too cold. And my second item that we're gonna do right now is, this is a Totoro sweatshirt. My mom thrifted this for me forever ago. We've had to mend the shoulders at times, and while I love him, he is quite pilled, and I do not wear this out of the house, don't worry. This is like something I wear in the evenings over my pajamas. So it's just another one that I would really like to try and save him. And also, if you hear in the background a lot of ticking sounds, or soon the shower is going to turn on, I'm cooking dinner, everything's in the oven, and my husband is getting ready to take a shower, so there's gonna be a lot of noises in the background. And I mean, I'll mute this while I'm doing the actual sweater shaving because you don't want to hear that, you know, loud noise the entire time. But let's get started. First, we're gonna start with one at a time. We're gonna try Totoro first. So first, here is our before. You can see he's quite pilled. He's very old. I got him secondhand. And what I like to do is just come down here. I'll push this a little bit forward so you can see. Is I'm just gonna take one little bit at a time and gently shave, not pressing down hard, just gently. Okay, so I won't video myself doing this the entire time, but I will show you some of the initial shaving. Like I said, we're trying to be delicate, gentle, and not bear down too hard to cause a hole. Also, part of why we're on an ironing board is to make sure we get this really smooth. If there's ridges, it's much more likely to tear a hole in your item. As you can see, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because this is like a marled fabric anyways, but compare it to down here, that is already looking a lot better. So I'm gonna keep going and show you it at the end. Also, I don't really recommend you trying it out on your favorite item first because I really love this Totoro sweatshirt and would still wear it messed up. But something like that cardigan, if it gets a hole in it, I'm not really horribly upset. I've had it for a very long time and I'm not sentimentally attached to it. So let's keep shaving. So I had tried a sweater shaver back many years ago, and I did not care for it because it ripped a hole in something that I actually cared about pretty quickly. But I was ready to give it a go again. I had seen a lot of Instagram reels where people had tried it, so I was influenced myself into buying one of these. I'd seen a lot of girls who were thrifters like I am using this to help shave down some of the pills on things. So I do recommend to start off gentle first, and as I went, I did use more pressure on this sweatshirt just because I think it's a denser fabric, whereas more of like a knit woven, I would definitely not use as much pressure. Okay, so we've only gotten some of the front done, but look how much better this is looking already. I mean, that looks significantly better than compared to, let's show like parts of this arm. It's just looking a ton better. And my cat is just watching us, supervising while we do this. So now that I've gotten some practice with the sweater shaver, I'm already looking forward to trying other things, such as I have a quilt that I got from Cracker Barrel on a really big clearance during 2020 because nobody was shopping in store, and I had gotten that really cheap, but it did not hold up well at all. The whole thing got really pilled, and while I still use it on the back of my couch for our cat, because our cat sometimes will dig her claws into the couch, so we put an old quilt on the back of there just to make sure that she doesn't completely ruin it. And since that one was already pilled, that's the one that we use. But that's another project that I would really like to try with the sweater shaver, to just see if I could fix it any. And if it messes it up a little bit, I mean, it's already on the back of our couch, so I'm not too worried about it. I'd also like to try some leggings, because I feel like that's a huge problem, either from myself wearing them out or from ones at the thrift store where they look pretty good overall, except maybe like the crotch and upper thigh area gets really pilled, and I've thought to myself, I wish you could just fix that one little part. So let me know down below if you would like to see me doing that, because that is the next two things on my list to probably get sweater shaved. And this is a great project also for the upcoming winter months, because we're not going to have outside tasks and outside chores. So I'm always keeping that in the back of my mind of different projects and cleaning things to do once it gets really cold. Here, we're not very cold yet. We're having our truly southern fall, which is mostly hot, mostly warm, and then every once in a while we'll have a couple really freezing cold days where you need to wear a sweater. So we've already had one little blast of cold, but now we're back to being relatively warm. So we'll see how long that lasts. But I just shaved all over this sweatshirt. All over it was super pilled. The arms, the front, the back, all over it. But I love the Studio Ghibli films. I did not watch them until I was an adult and was married, because my husband introduced them to me, and I love them. They're really great, sweet films for the most part. I mean, I haven't watched all of his work, but I've seen quite a few of them, and they're just sweet, simple stories. So I enjoy this Totoro sweatshirt as something to curl up with in the cool evenings. And I feel like for me, I have a hard time thrifting sweatshirts in the first place. That's something that I scarcely ever find. I feel like sweatshirts and coats are like two of those things that are generally pretty hard to find, even though I have found more jackets recently. Since I moved to where I live now, we've been here a little over a year now, and I have one thrift store that gets pretty decent jackets in. They do get mostly vintage, which honestly I prefer, because some of those fabrics are so much nicer. In fact, when my mom and I went to a mall recently to walk for some exercise, and we were looking in the store windows, getting ideas for clothes that we could thrift ourselves or styles that are really popular, I couldn't believe how many items there honestly looked like they needed a sweater shave. They looked so pilled. But you can see how much better this Totoro sweatshirt is looking. I am very happy about this purchase, even just for the fact that Totoro himself looks so much better. And this was not a super hard or long project. So next we're going to start on this cardigan. You can see really well on this how pilled the underarms are. And this, you'll just get a nice little before and after shot. Look at all those pills just instantly gone. Oh, you're already talking? I thought you guys might want to see the cat first before we end out this video and give our final thoughts and wrap-ups. What is it? She's wondering what I'm doing here. Standing here in the kitchen. She's been watching me do the sweater shaving this whole time. So we did 3 sweaters. This one, I did not film any parts of it because of the color. I realized you basically couldn't see any of the fuzzies that were on here. So there weren't a ton, but there were some across the bodice. There were some underneath of the arms. And this one turned out really well. It looks much better than it did before. It was one of those, like when you looked at it from like a side profile when you were wearing it, you could see lots of little like things coming off of it. So this one turned out well. The red one did work, but then I found permanent oil stains on it. So that one is not staying here. And then I'll show you my final Totoro. Totoro was the best. He turned out so much better. There's still some little things I'm gonna pick off of here because I was afraid to shave this part because I wasn't sure how I would do on that kind of nubby fabric. But look how much better this looks. So you'll see kind of how it looked before, right around the eyes and stuff, because I can't get the shaver like in here anywhere. But overall, it looks a million times better. And the other part where you can still see more wear is the cuffs, because I was really not sure about how to do the cuffs. So, because I didn't want to stretch them out and then, you know, get myself. But overall, I would definitely recommend this. I say don't try it on anything sentimental first. I did Totoro first and I was really worried. Actually, I did one dress before filming this and I did it on the carpeted floor and I did rip it, which is why I switched to doing the ironing board. I think the ironing board is great for having just a very even, flat surface that it's not like your kitchen table that you're gonna have to clean off or something like that. And I didn't want to do it on the floor because my cat would potentially get in the way and step on it and either cause me to hurt myself or hurt herself. So that is it for today's video. If you enjoy these kind of more homemakery, frugal, living, saving money sort of videos, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below if you like this kind of content, because I'll continue to make it. Because I have lots of other things that I feel passionate about, of like stretching the resources that you already have and the items that are already in your home, making them last. Because there's oftentimes that I'll get things from the thrift store and I'll just do minor repairs, and I often think to myself, especially when it's something really expensive, a really high dollar item, I think, you know, this person probably just didn't have any idea how they could have mended or fixed this item. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.